This video is sponsored by skeletons. Ah, there's a fucking skeleton there. Shit. Hello. I was originally gonna make like a Elden Ring speculation video, but the truth is we don't know enough about it yet, where I can honestly speculate with true excitement. And I'm just not the type of person that likes to talk without, I don't know, having some form of data to look at. So instead, I'm going to address something different, something that is very dear to my heart, and that is gameplay mechanics. Discussing gameplay mechanics to me is something incredibly interesting. I really enjoy it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to discuss with all of you things that I think Fromsoftware should improve upon with their future games. None of these are directly for Elden Ring, although I would like to see some of these changes. And as you saw right there, I was fighting a guy that was just throwing magic at me. So let's talk about the magic system. I had a very interesting back and forth with someone in my previous video. I forgot your name, I'm sorry. But it was a pretty interesting conversation about the magic system and how the games, specifically Dark Souls, treats magic. Or just spells in general, right? So, by the way, if you stumbled upon this video and you disagree with anything I said, feel free to, like, you know, leave your own arguments in the comments so we can start a discussion. That's always something that I like to do. Without being an asshole. I don't mind if you're gonna be an asshole, but there's not much of a conversation if we're just both going like, no, you suck, no, you suck, no, you're dumb, you're wrong, you're dumb. That's not really a conversation. Or if you just want to discuss anything, just kind of put it in the comments. I will read it. I will reply to you. I really enjoy talking about game mechanics. Anyway, magic system. I was saying that Dark Souls 2 and 3 are the ones that have more variety. And they have more spells that are geared towards being different, being useful in different ways, rather than just being pew-pew laser. I have a paper with me. That is honest-to-God real paper. I actually took notes on this. Oh my god. So really, what I would like to see for future games, not necessarily Elden Ring, although it would be welcome since it's going to be a fantasy game. I would like to see a complete rework of like what it means to be a proper caster, and not just a guy with a sword that sometimes uses magic or that one good safe spell. You know what I mean? Don't be just a guy with the moonlight and you go pew pew every now and then. That's not a caster. That's just a guy with the moonlight because the moonlight just happens to use magic stat for it. The same way that the Moonlight used to use a Faith for its main damage stat in Demon Souls. That's not a caster. That's never going to be a caster. It's very hard to be a proper caster in these games, primarily because it doesn't lend itself to it. So with that, I think that one of the remedies could be like implementing the spells into your regular moveset. Whoa, that's controversial right there. I'll get to that in a moment. Let's continue. In terms of combat and classes, the main focus of the gameplay... Look, I'm sorry, I know that I'm probably the absolute minority here. I don't want it to be roll and then just mashing R1. You know, I'm sorry, like, I know that a lot of people literally just want reskinned Dark Souls, but now it's called Elden Ring. I cannot stomach it any further. Like, I cannot stomach any more rolling and R1 mashing. Like, I am well above the point where I'm just over that shit. If you disagree, that's fine. I'm just saying, for me, I would like to see something a little bit better, a little bit more interactive, rather than just Mr. Roly-Poly mashing with a fucking straight sword. I would like to see armor do something. Or just make it clear from the very beginning that armor is just going to be cosmetic. Fromsoftware has this problem with armor where they don't really know what the fuck to do with it. I think they did a pretty decent job with it in Bloodborne, where it's mostly cosmetic. In Dark Souls 3, it was mathematically proven that your armor doesn't matter. The damage reduction is like minimal, even wearing heavy armor. The game primarily wants you to have like all of your pieces equipped with something in order to give you defense. I would very much, and we all know what happened in Dark Souls 1 with the whole poise system, poise stacking with heavy armor. If you don't know what to do with armor, just make it cosmetic, make it impact your stats, just slightly have like different attributes to it, just do something with it that is very clear from the very beginning. Don't make people data mine the math and try to figure out how your fucking armor works, is what I'm trying to say. Let's avoid that again. So yeah, just make sure if it's gonna be just cosmetic, minor effects on you, whatever, from the very get-go, you know, don't hide it. I would like to have I could do a whole video about what I'm about to say. I would like to see a focus on you actually using your class. In these games, it does not matter, other than how spread out your stats are, like what class you pick. Check this out, by the way. Cannon kill. Oof, get the fuck off of me. I love Bloodborne. I want to see you be a warrior if you pick a warrior. If you're gonna be a mage, I would like it if your regular moveset would have magic spells in them that don't cost any MP. It's not my job to balance that. It's their job. That's a whole other discussion, you know? That's a whole thing that they would have to come up with. But I would like to see that. I think that alone would really solve a lot of the problems with magic and magic systems in general. But like I said, I could go more into detail about it, but basically if you pick a knight, you're gonna be a knight for the rest of the game, but you could have like skill trees, and you could alter your movesets. You could find weapons that are gonna be in the world specifically for the knight class. And the weapons! Unique weapon movesets. That's another thing. Lower the amount of clones, and I think Bloodborne, again, did a very good job with this. Lower amount of weapons, higher amount of moves, unique moves, and just movesets in general. I think they did a fantastic job with it, and I think that they should probably do it again. That's kind of touching upon the things that I would like. I could make like entire separate fucking videos about each one, but I won't. One last thing. I think that they should keep the cryptic lore. I know that George R.R. Martin is going to be, or he already did the story or whatever for Elden Ring. I really hope that they keep some of that cryptic lore in there, because when Fromsoftware does it, it really doesn't come off as pretentious. You know, you don't have a fucking character popping in and saying, "Ah, oh, call me Horseman. I am very expert in horses, because I'm Horseman." You know, there's none of that shit. It's curious, it's unique, it's intriguing the way they do it, and overall it's very charming. And like I said, it doesn't come off as pretentious or try-hardy, where they're being like, "Oh, it's a mystery." Sometimes it does, but only after the first Dark Souls, when they really started to ham it up really bad. But for the most part, I think that the world building in these games is amazing. The lore kind of makes you think, but not in a way where you have to have like 250 IQ. Kind of makes you wonder, you know, hey, I wonder if this has anything to do with the item that I read about earlier. I think these things may have a correlation. And then when you are done thinking about that, you can just kind of go like, oh, maybe, and then you just keep playing. You don't have to be a genius and try to be a fucking Vadi about it, you know? You don't have to figure out everything, but the fact that it makes you wonder what's going on, it makes you ask questions about the world, it makes you more interested in the world. I think that Fromsoftware is very good with that. I think Miyazaki has a very good knack for that, and he should probably keep doing it, you know? There's no reason why that can't be in the game, even if the game has a more straightforward, streamlined story. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Maybe you found it interesting, maybe not, but I enjoy talking about this. I'm very passionate about video games in general. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.